it. So yeah, it's chances of an upset win here are definitely, I guess, receding here for Roccat. But, you know, we're not going to give up hope. I'm sure all the Finnish fans tuning into the stream right now, they certainly haven't. And after a performance like that on Dust 2, sure there were some hiccups, but Rockat's shown that they can definitely hang with North America's best, rather. But we go right into the pistol round here. Roccat will be starting on the T side this time around, Cloud9 on the CT side. So you might get the feeling that Cloud9 won the pistol here, or at least the knife round to determine these starting sides.
I've always felt on Cash, though, that it's not the end of the world, even if you do lose the knife, because T's can still rack up a bunch of rounds. They can still force their way through, as you're seeing here. But look at this quick rotation from Shroud, around the back with the 5-7, and will lay down the law. The bomb is still going to get planted, though, for Roccat. That gives them a couple of bargaining chips in their favor. xartE is not going to be able to connect any dots, and that leaves Nasu by himself, and he will be put down. But still, that bomb plant, pretty decent, you know, significant for Roccat. And now we're going to see what we did last time on Dust 2, where they get the bomb plant, they go for the full Glock, and then AKs come into fruition.
I think that's going to be the call. I don't think there's any reason for them to change it up. I mean, they could be thinking that themselves, where it's like, okay, we did it last time, so maybe it's time to go for something a little bit more dicey, a little bit more ballsy. I mean, the Tech-9s, if you get onto that A site, the Tech-9s can be lethal because you can get those smokes down, you get those flashes in, and just that split second allows you to close the gap to where you're getting one-shot headshots, right? So maybe we could see some kind of aggressive buy out of them, but it does seem like they're going to go for more of the bread-and-butter approach here. Glocks pretty much across the board, a single P250 picked up on Yuho, and they're going to be setting up for a very quick play into B site here, where Sean Gares is currently waiting with the M4, pretty much the best gun that he could hope to have in a situation like this.
Yeah, very much so. And they've also got the pop flash coming in as well, which is just about to land in the face of Roccat. There's the P90, nothing with 4 quick frags looking for his ace. And the last remaining player, Yoho, is just going to try and back himself off. Sean Gares was dropped from him, I believe. Yes, indeed, he was. And that's all that she wrote for Roccat. So, easy eco, nothing smile. Pretty much paints the full picture for you. P90 all day, every day.
It's a very good SMG. One thing to note is that out of the SMGs, this one is unique. You don't get $600 for a kill with the P90. You only get the 300. So don't think that he went and made massive cash there. He did get 4 kills, so he is obviously going to be getting, you know, a decent bit, but it's not the huge cash influx that you'd expect out of an SMG sprayed out like that.
And the cool thing about the P90 as well, from his perspective, is it's one of the few SMGs that I feel is still a viable choice when the AK-47s come through with the Kevlar as well. If you hold close angles, you can still rip players to shreds. MP7 not quite so much, so nothing is going to be getting himself picked off alongside freakazoid. And it's unfortunate for Cloud9, but of course Roccat are making the most of that very aggressive push through from Cloud9. That could cost them big here, to be fair, as well. Like, Cloud9 going for that fast push. This could be Roccat picking up their first round.
All right, these are the situations where Roccat failed on Dust 2, where they didn't capitalize on. You know, they had man advantage, and then they would be slow on the uptake, or they would just take duels that they didn't need to, and Cloud9 would be able to claw their way back into the round. This is a round now that should be impossible for Cloud9 to win. Roccat, with a numerical advantage like this, they still have plenty of utility as well. They should be able to just gather up, group up, and execute onto a site, and that looks like what they've got in store for us here. Going out onto the A site, they've got Nasu waiting over in Squeak. He can take the peek at Ska. And they have all the nades necessary to make their lives easy getting onto this A site here.
Yeah, I completely agree. This should, on paper, be a clear-cut round to Roccat, but the P90 could be another nightmare for Roccat. This close-range Skadoodle using it in almost a perfect position. And there we go. He just peeks around the corner, gets it. A completely healthy Skadoodle still rushing through, picks himself up another frag, and from a 5-on-3, it's suddenly a 1v2 stacked against the Finns, and xartE is only on 44 HP. He's pushing onto the site. There's the second frag. 7 seconds on the timer, though, and he is going to be timed out. Very smart from Sean Gares. Just tucks his tail between his legs and sprints away. Roccat let another chance go begging. And Cloud9 will somehow get the 3-0.
This is where you can see experience. Like, Cash is much more of a, you need to be tight on your executions. I mean, barring just huge plays from a player like Sunny, for example, who can just kind of like manhandle people, you need big plays. And you need to be really tight in there. And look at how they actually executed onto that site, Roccat. It was one man at a time. One. Like, no refrags. Nobody just stacked up one on top of the other. So it's like Ska gets the 1 kill, boom, you instantly take him out afterwards. There was none of that there for Roccat. They kind of just like skipped their way onto that site, and unfortunately that's not going to cut it. Cloud9, they have the fragging power in the Shroud and the Ska. You can't be giving them that kind of opportunity. And speaking of op, Ska's got it now, so this is going to get even more tricky here for Roccat.
It is, and just the 1 AK, which was on xartE from the end there, just as he tried to clutch out the round for his team. Nothing is going to be biding his time. Coming round the back, there's 2, looking for a 3rd, and he does connect all of them. Sunny, in turn, will bounce back with 2 frags of his own. At least he has a bit of Kevlar, so aim punch is not going to be too much of a deal, but the issue now is for him is he's being encircled, does do a lot of damage towards freakazoid. But now all Cloud9 have to do is he's stuck in a corner. Just wait.
Yeah, they don't need a face.
All the pressure is on the terrorists from this point of view.
They really don't need a face. For that reason. Can they even go and pick up Ska's op now? Hey, they might actually lose the op. This is a hugely expensive round for Cloud9 at this point.
Yeah.
Shroud is going to die. Can he actually make it, though, to get that AWP? That's a big save if he can do it. I would love to see it. You know, nothing is beautiful and everything, but, like, I would really, really love to see if he actually saved the op.
Only time will tell. There's the triple spray down from nothing from Checkered.
Okay, they didn't.
They didn't save it. So yeah, I mean, that's economically damaging for Cloud9.
That was a hugely successful round for Roccat.
They'll take it, yeah.
That was so expensive for Cloud9. They lost the op on Ska as well. Like, that was a very good round for Roccat.
Because they only had 1 AK, right, that was saved. The rest of them only had, like, pistols.
Yeah.
So that was pretty huge. And yes, Cloud9, you look at the top of the scoreboard, they're 4-0 up, it's looking good for them. But the issue is with their economy, if they lose 1 round, that could quickly become 2 or even 3. Such is the nature of CT side on cash. So they have to be so careful here. And Ston, for the first time on this T side, is going to be rocking out the AWP on boost.
Yeah, we saw what Stonda was capable of on Dust 2. Very competent opper. He's opped plenty in the past as well. Even way back when he used to play with Alu, you know, like they would trade off on the opping duties. Like, Stonda is very capable. So now they're going to be looking for that peak in mid. If they can find it, freakazoid, his usual spot, playing in Z Connector here. Waiting to see if anybody's going to try and push through. Smoke is down. He's not going to peek before it, but now Shroud with the aggressive play into A main. Manages to pick off Sunny, and there's Shroud getting another one. Freakazoid even able to trade 1 for 1. This is a fantastic bounce back into the round here for Cloud9.
Yeah, just what they needed. And you saw them kind of give up mid as nothing peeks round, but there's Shroud from behind once more. It's going to all be on xartE, who was the only player who didn't have an AK in his hands, or at least an AWP. And here we go, he's going to be looking for that 1D, can't land it, he gets shut down. And you saw that Roccat got a lot of ground through mid, but it was the Shroud push through main that just stopped them in their tracks, because then they have to be worried, is he coming up from behind? They started to slow down, they couldn't execute through highway, which is I think what they initially wanted to do. And they just got choked out, like straight up. Cloud9 has a really solid round for them.
Yeah, no, that's the kind of stuff that Cloud9 are going to be capable of on cash. It's really going to take something random, I think, like either a player going big, or just a random, like, you know, push onto a site that catches Cloud9 off guard, something along those lines. Because if it gets down to, if it gets down to the nitty-gritty where Cloud9 can slow down the pace, start sussing out what Roccat have going for them, I really see the Finns struggling in this situation, in that kind of situation, rather.
That's kind of what we were alluding to earlier, is that cash is going to be a much more difficult nut for them to crack. You know, coming through here, and we're already seeing they're running into a couple of roadblocks. They've had opportunities though. That's been the issue, I suppose, for Cloud9, because going through towards the latter stage of this tournament, of course, it's going to seem like forever in the future. But if they make mistakes like this against the likes of Mousesports, they could be completely punished. But that being said, as far as it's concerned in this round, all is good for Cloud9. It's a 3-on-1, and Sunny's only on 19 hit points, and he's about to get found out from Shroud. Or maybe not. Maybe he's going to pick up a couple more kills. Now there's freakazoid point blank, and Cloud9's continual victories continue here as they've gone to 6-0, I believe it is now. Just pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah, they're kind of just going to start walking their way through here. This is a map where also we should see a much closer scoreline. Like 9-6 should be as wide apart as it gets. If you get into like 10-5 territory, that's where you really screwed up your first half if you're a Roccat. So they need to really start getting some rounds on the board right now. If Cloud9 get up to 9 rounds right at the beginning, that's just not acceptable for Roccat. So all the pressure now on the Finnish lineup to get something done. They get a full buy after that round of eco, so now they have everything they need. Like Cloud9, I like this mid control, aggressive mid control from them. In fact, they're not even going to give Roccat the space to breathe.
It's really cool to see how they've changed things up, because before they were giving up mid completely, but they were pushing through main, they were pushing through B as well. So to see them now go aggressive through mid and kind of give up the main control, as we're now seeing Roccat going in there, that's cool. It keeps Roccat on their tiptoes, and they can't take anything for granted. So Cloud9 playing the mind game, so they have lost the first player in this round. So again, Roccat have a chance to save that, and 2 quick-fire frags for Cloud9 put them down once more. And they pretty much have to go for this A play now. Well, maybe not, actually. They've got 50 seconds. They could just maneuver themselves round into mid if they want to.
I'm thinking they want to head towards B. Just because, okay, they set it up with the smoke onto A to try and keep some players over there for Cloud9, but there should be less defense over on the B site, and that's where I think they're going to start heading over there. Bringing the bomb, they're going to have the follow-up as well, and Nasu, he's going to have the back there of Sunny. But the two of these guys have to do big damage right away. They need to just clear out freakazoid immediately. The more time the freakazoid can buy for the rotation in from Shroud, the more difficult it gets here for the Finns.
You can see that Shroud has made a lot of ground as well, as has nothing through mid. There's still a player, it's going to be Stond in mid, but freakazoid comes in, very nearly 2 frags, 8 seconds left on the timer. Nasu is so low on HP, 5 seconds, he needs to get that bomb planted. He's just about got it in the nick of time. And now the next issue comes, xartE is this a 2-1-2 retake. And Nasu is very low, but so is Shroud. This is another huge round for Roccat. They need this if they're going to start to bounce back.
This is really where it starts to get very tricky, and there it is. Peek out from Stonda, takes out Sean. Shroud attempting the wall make it look like. And yeah, no joy for him. He's actually going to have to back off here. Had me worried there for a moment there, Roccat, with how slow they were setting up that B-side take. Freakazoid even able to pick up the 1 kill, but they get the job done in the end, and Roccat, they should both be able to survive this. Nasu may be just a bit too close. No, he's just out of range there, so. Whew, yeah, man, deep sigh of relief, I think, for Roccat that they actually managed to hold on to that site. And Stana with the big play. That kill on Sean Gares was key.
Yeah, very well played as well. They kept a player in mid, knowing that the rotation would come through there. They didn't want to be too one-dimensional. Cloud9 sent all their players through CT side, so very smart play from Roccat. And yeah, 6-1, still not a fantastic scoreline for them, but at least this gives them some building blocks, I should say, to start to work off. And there we go again. It's that man Stonder, one of the standout players for Roccat, that's going to open up their account here in round number 8.
A kill like that is definitely going to make life easier, that's for sure. That opens up mid as well. If they wanted to speed up into it, they could have taken control of mid, given themselves some more options, Roccat. But right now, at least, they're still kind of... Well, actually... Did they decide to rotate into mid now?
I think the problem for the CTs on Cash is if you lose the first player in mid, it forces one of the sites to become weaker as a result. We could see there that Shroud instantly rotating off quad through onto highway, and now they have 2 players in mid. So in doing that, they're moving that second player off B, and it's effectively now a 4 versus 1 if they push through right here, right now, onto Sean Gares. And he kind of knows this. His spidey senses are tingling. He's going to throw that smoke. It does stop this push. That's so smart from him, but he could get caught out with a flashbang. No, he's not. Here comes the retaliation push, and he doesn't get a frag either, so that's huge for Roccat. Only 1 player remains. That's nothing, but way too many angles for him to cover. And this has gone from being a pretty bad round for Cloud9 to an absolutely horrific one. It's all on Skadoodle. And they know exactly where he is.
Yeah, they've got him boxed in as well, because look at this, Yuho, right behind him. And okay, then Stonda. Okay. Yeah. I mean, what's interesting is that they're just so straightforward, actually. Roccat. They don't go for like B split pushes or anything of the sort. Like, it doesn't really seem like they're a big fan of splits. They go up to A sometimes with the speedway push, right? But going on to B site, we haven't seen them going through vents pretty much once right now. Like, even when they could potentially take over mid, getting that initial kill off of freakazoid, like, you know what? Now we're just gonna go through the main entrance and just bully our way into that site, right? So Sean just a split second too late with that flash. We saw it go past the shoulders of the initial Roccat push, and so, you know, he just gets completely overwhelmed, and from there on out, Roccat, that's the thing, it's just no fear at that point. You run in, you get the job done.
Here comes the boost up from Cloud9, though, trying to catch Roccat, and they know this. They've already read the script, they have a player there, wasn't able to get the frag. But now Sunny's pushing in through mid, need to get this kill, he's not going to get it either, he gets forced in, finally gets himself 1 and a second frag. He's an anti-eco, though, so can't get too carried away. Roccat
showing his fangs.
Yeah, definitely.
Because, you know, he's an eco cobra, right?
Well, is he going to get any more frags here, though? That's the question now. Roccat should definitely have this round, but then again, we've said that before in the past, and look what happened. It all came tumbling down.
Yeah, and I mean, you still got Freak with that CZ75. He's playing on the site itself. He's assigned to force, actually. He's assigned to punt. I mean, this could get a little tricky here for Freak. Holding a nice angle, but now they know exactly where he's playing from. Still, wow. He nearly takes out 2. Yuho just down to 12 HP as well. CZ75 is so scary. And they're actually making this fairly expensive here. Nothing. Looking to try and deny the plant, but it's not going to be necessary in the end. He gets shut down. But now we actually have Roccat starting to chain together some rounds. This is where it gets interesting. Right where they start dancing on the edge of completely losing control of the first half, they manage to come back into this and make it interesting.
Absolutely. Cloud9 will be able to buy up here, as that was a full eco in terms of no Kevlar thrown in for good measure, but it's not going to be a fantastic full buy without an AWP, without defuse kits again.
Yeah, Skadoodle, I mean...
He's having a bit of a quiet game, I think it's safe to say.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, really, he just they feels to. Oh, whoa, that is sexy. The run boost up. Unfortunately for Shroud, it doesn't work, but that was so sick.
Right into the embracing arms of Yoo-hoo.
Yeah, they're doing a very good job of just hanging back Roccat. Now that they can feel that Cloud9 are starting to feel the pressure a little bit. They know that Cloud9, they're not going to be full equipped. They're just taking their time. They're even going for boosts up onto red existence. You know, he's looking at this. He's like, very good, boys, very good. This is what he used to like to do. But I mean, it's just super defensive at the start, make Cloud9 nervous, and then go off the play or go off the pick like they just got there with Shroud.
I think this is even more of a pretty sick call from Roccat, knowing that the likelihood is with the full buy coming from Cloud9 that they would be lacking a bit of utility, that they would be lacking some defuse kits, and trying to expend that utility, and then with like 30-35 seconds to go start to push in, knowing that it was going to be a lack of a shield, a blanket, if you will, from Cloud9 to stop the push, and that's pretty much what's happening here. Sunny, finally, they have utilized the vents, and they do reap the rewards as well, and the benefits. Nothing is going to be coming through. Has picked himself up another frag, but of course they know exactly where he is, and they're about to conga line their way to victory. And here come the frags, thick and fast for Roccat. They line up for Skadoodle. I was thinking just for a second there, surely not the 3-man. It was so close, though.
I do like that, though. Even if they do line up in the end where they kind of get tight clumped, still, it's just like, look at that. Nothing. He doesn't see anybody. He peeks. Boom. 3 guns facing him, right? Like, you're going to die. There's nothing you can do there. So we really do see Roccat coming back into this half in a big way. Right when they was just on the brink of starting to completely fall apart for them, they force a second eco out of Cloud9. Cloud9 now, even after this eco, they might be hard-pressed to get the full buy. Well, let's not go ahead and make it too easy for him here, guys. Like,
let's stab each other in the back.
Yeah, don't get too excited now.
And that was the problem they had earlier, right? When they should have won that round, I think it was like 4 or 5. And it was a 5v3, they pushed onto A, they didn't push together, and they started to die one by one. So it's good to see them realizing that mistake and rectifying it.
Just get on each other's butts. Just don't let there be too much of a gap. Because you need to be able to refrag effectively. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And they're doing a very good job right now of just making use of the of their economic superiority, right? You know, Roccat, they can afford all the Molotovs, the flashes, the smokes, everything. So what are they doing? They're just chucking them all over the place, making sure that Cloud9, they can't really hide anywhere. We saw that, you know, much to freakazoid's dismay. Sandbags in mid, he got caught. Shroud, though, doing a good job. Skadoodle is there. Sean not going to be able to pick up a kill, and that's actually calamitous. Because now Shroud, he's literally getting locked out of his own sight.
Shut down out of his own house.
His job, he isn't even looking for the frag. His job is literally to close that door in his face.
The troll moves are real, but this is a fantastic little mini comeback as well from Roccat. They were 6-0 behind.
I think we can call this a full comeback.
Yeah.
I think we can go that far. Like 6-0, and now they managed to put 5 rounds on the board. That's really solid work.
As I said before, like dancing on the outskirts of a potential just a landslide loss, and suddenly they're right back into this one. All the pressure on Cloud9. They've gone for a double AWP as well.
Yeah, here we go.
So a lot of funds put into this round.
Well, this is the big round. This is it right here, the big round, and they're going for even more aggression here. Double push into Squeak. Nasu takes the one. Oh no, Nasu takes both. Oh, that's a bad play. Cloud9. They're going to be hurting after that one. Skadoodle forced off. No, that's freakazoid. He goes in, but that's not good enough because Sunny's there for the refrag. Oh, this is big. Complete and utter devastation. Cloud9 just gets slaughtered.
Double AWP pickup, and they only get 1 frag in this entire round.
They go for the ultra aggression, but Nasu, and we've been kind of disregarding Nasu, honestly, but I mean, he's got 5 frags. He was sitting on 3 frags before. Nothing went his way on Dust 2 either. He just kept catching bullets to the face, so we really haven't been able to see much from Nasu. But talk about a crucial play. That could be like the play of the map right there. A double kill into Squeak completely opens up the defense. I mean, that was huge. Talk about a good time to come through.
And let's mention Sunny as well, by the way. 15 frags.
Yeah, Sunny just continues to be like the all-star here.
And if memory serves me correctly, as we're seeing Sean
Gares can't even save the AWP.
Yeah.
Why does he go for the peak? Huge mistake.
It was Sunny that came in to replace Joel's, right? I'm pretty sure it was. So if it's Sunny that stepped in to have,
why am I blanking on that?
To have a guy of his caliber like step in and drop consistent frags against Cloud9, that is amazing.
You know, yeah, that's Joel's. You know, he needed to make sure that the meat didn't burn, right?
I think Roccat will be pretty happy with this trade-off, the way that Sunny's been doing so far.
Dude, Sunny is a monster. I think it was Sunny and Stonda initially come in though. But regardless, Skadoodle going to get completely overwhelmed in mid. Sunny with the run and gun just continues his reign of dominance on this map. And in this matchup, Roccat up to 6 rounds, and now they could be even looking to go further here. freakazoid decides to actually take the fight though in mid. I mean, they need to bring it back somehow.
They certainly do, because now it's starting to slip away from Cloud9.
Boom,
and
sit down.
freakazoid can't get anything done. Did catch 2 players unaware. There's a flashbang in as well. Roccat still yet to lose a single player here in round 13. 2 FAMASs and an M4. Just a couple of HEs with a smoke as well. No defuse kits for Cloud9. But we've been in this position before in a 5v3. And Cloud9 somehow escaped.
Yep. I like that Stonda's actually got his Twitter handle on his op as well. Be sure to go and check him out. Stonda CSGO.
Should be picking up quite a few new fans off these games.
Damn well better. He's doing some good work right now.
Been solid, and this time Roccat in the 5v3 elect to go onto the B site. Last time it was A that proved to be so devastating for them, and xartE is going to be coming through onto the CT side. Cloud9 do not seem too interested in retaking this site, just wanted to save themselves the FAMASs.
And when do we get the shots now? Because they've already got exactly. Yuho closing in. Sean Gares, not long for this world. He's gone. No second rifle saved, and they're being so thorough about this Roccat as well. Yuho's like, okay, I got 9 HP. Change it up, back it out, wait for the rotation to come in perhaps. They really are checking to see where this guy is hiding. If they can take the FAMAS off a shroud, that'd be a pretty nice play. And yeah, they actually spot him, and Sunny's close enough to get the kill. Very well done by Roccat.
7 consecutive rounds now to Roccat.
Talk about a complete and utter like failure to adapt on Cloud9's side. They're just falling apart.
Yeah, they really are. I'd like to see them try something different here. Like, I'm not entirely sure what their economy's like right now. I feel like we could see, yeah, I was going to say maybe a force buy or at least pistols, and that's pretty much what we're seeing.
Yeah.
And last time that they started doing this, though, this is when Roccat started to play really slow and safe. Nothing! He's going to get his second use kill of the matchup. And that's going to be a bit of an awkward situation for Roccat as they've lost their second player as well. Sean Gares relocating onto the site. Meanwhile, nothing drops down in the vents, picks up the AK-47 off the corpse of Roccat players. And still Cloud9 reassume their player advantage, make it 2. Sunny has bounced back, a 1v2. This is still far from over. No Kevlar on the side of Cloud9. The spray is in effect. 1 HP for Sunny. Surely he can't pull this one off. He's been peeking around the side, and he gets the frag onto Sean Gares as well. Unbelievable. And Roccat with 8 rounds in a row.
What a comeback. What a comeback. But really, sorry, Valve. But that Zeus has nothing, like, should not be in a pro game. Like, get rid of it, please. Like, $100, sure. Put it in casual, sure. But don't put it in don't make it available for that price in a pro game. Because you're just talking about a guy who made a $100 investment, kill in one shot a guy who's invested at least $3,700 to $4,500 in the round. That's ludicrous. That is so absolutely stupid.
Especially in eco rounds like that when you're wanting to play
dumb.
aggressive.
It is, like, beyond dumb. Like, you know, that is really, really, really whole new level of dumb. Like, come on. It's bad enough with the pistols. Let's not have a Zeus in here.
Quad orbs, by the way, as well. 2 apiece. And why the hell not, I suppose, in the last round of this half. Roccat, who seemed like they were circling the drain, suddenly have themselves 8 rounds on the board. And because of it being the last round, and because Roccat have accumulated so much funds for themselves, they trade off the AWP. They wanted that fast peak. They trade the AWP for the AK-47. They can just bounce back even harder now. 55 seconds left on the time, and nobody's fallen. This is a crucial round for Cloud9. I have to feel like there's a lot more pressure on their shoulders than Roccat.
Yeah, no, it's all on Cloud9 now. If Roccat takes 9 rounds, it's still a somewhat CC-sided map, but to take 9 rounds, that would be just them flat out winning this half. You expect to see 8-7. You honestly expect to see 8-7 favoring the CT side. So that would be a very good start. And Nasu opening it up. He's starting to feel it. freakazoid gets caught, but it's a 2-for-2 trade going on to the A site. The bomb is here, so they're going to be able to plant it very quickly here on Rockat's side. That's so important now. Every second is vital. And Skadoodle taking point, just running in.
Still 2 AWPs in a retake scenario. This not fantastic for Cloud9, honestly. If Roccat just play this one passive, as we know they're capable of doing, this should be theirs. The Molotov is going to force them out of position, and that will be into the crosshairs of Nothing, who's picked up his second frag and a third as well. And I was thinking in that double up, you know, this could be Roccat taking the 9-6, but Nothing steps up to the plate and delivers again.
Yeah, that one rifle making all the difference right there. The Molotov as well.
Yeah,
So,
huge.
Well played there by Cloud9 with the retake, and that's going to put it 8-7, going Rockat's way still with the advantage, but 8-7 nonetheless. And talk about a complete and utter comeback coming in from Roccat. 6 up, 6-0 for Cloud9. You're thinking, okay, this is where maybe Roccat pick up a round, but then Cloud9 come right back into it. You can see one of those just devastating scorelines right off the start, but Roccat really made a half out of that, and now all the pressure's on Cloud9 going into their T side. Now we have to see if Nasu can continue this form that he's found all of a sudden, where he's starting to land some good shots. And if they can actually lock down on the CT side, because on the Dust 2 side, CT, they did look a little awkward, got to say, for Roccat. Like they looked like they were hesitating a little bit on the calls that needed to be made on the rotation. So we have to see if they're going to be a little bit more decisive here. And, well, to start, 3 over on B. You know, if Cloud9 were going to go for a rush kind of play to start things off, Roccat would have been prepared for it. They're going for the standard. Actually, this is very standard stuff from Roccat. 3 over on B, 1 in mid, and 1 holding back at truck on CT. They're playing a retake at this point.
Yeah, that's exactly it. If the B push comes in from Cloud9, you can connect bullets to faces. If not, you can just rotate yourself back onto the site. Oh, xartE should have had that kill. He had everything going for him, but Shroud just spins around and headshots him. And in doing so, that puts so much pressure on Sunny. The drive-by headshot from Cloud9 has been finished off from freakazoid. And I gotta say, xartE, if he connects that shot, things could have been so different.
Yeah, the fact that it's a 1-for-1 for Shroud there, that's huge. And, well, just also so impressive on Cloud9's part. They actually walk into the stack. They're so stubborn that they actually make it work. And now, well, they're actually going to save. And this isn't a bad call to make either. 2 on 4, it's never going to happen. So you might as well save the kit and the Kevlar for the next round.
Exactly, yeah. Because then if you want to maybe even force, from Rockat's perspective, I'm not entirely sure what their mentality will be here, but if they force, then that's going to be a lack of aim punch, you know, onto stun, potentially.
Yep.
And, of course, that defuse kit's always really important to have. So, yeah, I completely agree with you. That 4v2 retake, unlikely that you're going to get anything done now. Even if you get a couple of frags, no problem. Cloud9 can buy back up without too many issues. So let's see what the Finns are going to go for here. Shroud seems deep in thought there.
If they're going to go for the... I mean, we're hearing something purchased, but not quite sure who's doing the purchasing. Yeah, it is going to be a forced buy out of Roccat. Okay, then. But then for Stonda, I mean, this really works out for Stonda as well, because he's got the benefit of Kevlar this round. He's only made the single investment. Now he's going to save hard here in this round. Rather than forcing up and spending money, he's going to get out of this round with 1,500, go into the next, which should be a hard eco for his team, and then he'll have the op in the buy round. So this works out just fine for Stonda.
I was just curious if someone would drop him across a pistol, because with him playing so well, I'd almost like to see him with one of the 5.7s. I feel like he could probably wreck some faces, you know?
True.
So instead of having the USP, I mean, USP's a decent pistol up against no Kevlar, but when you got full Kevlar from Cloud9, I mean, that USP is just not going to be doing the same level of damage as a 5.7 is. But, hey, maybe there's a reason for this, practicing this.
Well, I mean, one thing that we noticed is that Roccat have a soul. Not a single Zeus picked up.
Nothing's got bagged himself 2 frags with that, I was going to say monstrosity, maybe that's a bit too far.
I'd go so far as to say it.
It's pretty terrible, though. I fully agree with you. You can see, though, that Cloud9 are going to be forcing their way onto the site. This should be easy peasy, and Nothing is going to land himself a shot. There's freakazoid onto headshot, onto stun. And, well, Cloud9 are going to reassume their round lead here, and will be 9-8 ahead. CZ Kevlar, I think he wants to try and pick himself up a frag and try and retreat from this, but the fact of the matter is he's now been locked off onto the site side. There is a defuse kit right next to him, but he's going to go for the frag instead. He's picked himself up 2 frags.
Oh, the timing of that flash was so unfortunate. He might have been able to pick up a second one there.
I admire his bravery. I admire that he wanted to take a few players down with him.
Yeah.
Instead of just backing away and getting caught in the backside.
Well, all right, now we're starting to get towards interesting times. We should have another round of eco here from Roccat, so maybe a stack, maybe a YOLO rush out of them. I mean, hard eco from them, no surprise there. And yeah, stack on B. Might just run straight into the tunnels, get this over with quick. Yeah, there it is, the peak, the walk in. The only man who's going to be at risk here is Nothing, but he's already out in mid. The rest of his teammates will have spotted that A is clear by now.
I wonder if hearing those 2 vents, shxartE is going to force Roccat to back away and try and pick up the frag onto nothing now. They're still keeping with their initial tactic, and that's to come through, and it's going to be nothing. Oh, he turns around. That's going to be his life lost. And if nothing else, Roccat will be able to salvage a Galil out of this round. So that in itself is almost a mini victory for Roccat. They weren't expecting to get anything from this, and suddenly they've got an assault rifle.
I mean, 2020 hindsight, right? But like, you're leaving the guy with the rifle alone. Why not put one of them MP7s out there? A gun that you're really not going to care about losing. I mean, a Galil as well. It's only 2,000, sure, but still a rifle that could be saved and used here by Roccat for free.
Yeah, especially when you consider the angle that he was playing as well. It's like mid to close range and vents.
No reason to peek here for Roccat either. There's going to be hoping to get some exits, doing some damage, trying to dink somebody up, trying to keep him close enough for that bomb to go up and perhaps kill somebody off. I mean, they will be able to get the kill with Sunny. That's well done. And he holds onto the gun as well. So, yeah, solid work in the end. They managed to save 2 AKs there, Cloud9. They get the round. I think that's the most important thing for them at this point, though. They just need to get that strong start and close out this map solid, get that 2-0 win.
So, 2 rounds in the making. Finally, Stun has his AWP. That's the reason why we saw him having the Kevlar earlier on and not upgrading to a weapon. And let's see if those 2 rounds of patience is going to pay off for him. No boost so far for Cloud9, so he's not going to get any action as of yet. Here comes the push from Cloud9. It's going to be through mid and B respectively. Roccat are going to have to try and hold their nerve here. xartE again in no man's land has just got way too many terrorists firing on his location, and it seems like that rocky, shaky CT side is coming back to haunt them here on Cash as well. 2 players falling in the drop of a hat, and they have to just save. And the Cloud9 again get themselves on the board.
They're so effective. They're so aggressive right now, Cloud9. Not giving any respect. Nothing catches Nasr out. There's the Galil returned. You can pick that up if you want. Nothing in Shroud, man. They're really doing good work right now as far as the frags are concerned. No surprise to see Sunny sitting at the top of the board for Roccat. He really is proving to be like the top dog on that team as far as frags. But just such quick aggression, I think that just really caught Roccat off guard. Quick aggression into the B halls, ineffective smokes as well. Cloud9 were able to find gaps in the smoke to exploit, and so it makes it really difficult to hold. Unless you have both players there just holding right in the entrance, where you can set up a crossfire point blank. I mean, 2-1, it's not going to be good enough. And Stonda, he's making it expensive for Cloud9 at least. Should be able to save, yeah, and he holds onto his, he holds onto the AWP, so really solid work.
Yeah, I suppose the kind of slight downside on that though is that Cloud9 have so much money to spend that it's not the end of the world, but I think it's more important for Roccat that they managed to save that AWP.
Absolutely.
You know, so they can keep this one going forward now. You can see there, look at that, Sunny on 22 frags, nearest player is Yuhu with 12.
Yeah, it's massive underperformance right now on Rockat's side.
He's top fragging on the entire server by 5 kills as well, even if you include Cloud9 and freakazoid. Maybe that's where the confidence kind of comes back to bite him in the rear end there, pushing through by himself. They did have a boost up, but the cohesion not quite on point, and Roccat have got themselves a player advantage here in round number 20.
Yeah, they don't need to take any risks right now. They've got that man advantage. They're very light on utility. That's one thing to take note of here, that they only have 2 flashes left, but that man advantage should be enough to work with. There's the peek from Ska into mid. Looking up Speedway towards that A site, trying to get an idea, trying to figure out where Roccat are set up. But it is going to be Cloud9 making a predictable decision, going towards that B site where there might only be the 1 player. There it is, flash in, shots, and right into the headshot. So well done by Cloud9, keeping their cool.
Your executions onto these sites, man, is formidable.
Yeah, it's like Dust 2 is, at least from what we've seen recently, is that, you know, Dust 2 is not a fun playground for Cloud9. Like, there's a lot of glass in the sand. They keep getting cut. You know, it's just a horrible time, right? But Cash is a solid map for Cloud9. And this is their pick as well. We have to remind people that Dust 2 was Rockat's pick, and Cloud9, they wanted Cash, and we can see why.
It seems to me, though, that maybe their CT side is the side that needs a bit of work done to it, because they lost so many rounds in a row.
Well, it seems like across the board right now for all the maps, like Cloud9, it's like their T side is great because they have, you know, freakazoid to just go YOLOing in there, Shroud is there to follow him up. Like, those 2 guys working in tandem, it's doing really good work for Cloud9. But yeah, the CT side does seem to be the weaker side across the board right now for the North Americans.
Just a very relaxed atmosphere from nothing. You expect nothing less, I suppose, though.
Yeah.
Such a chill player. 12-8 ahead. His team's starting to find some form here. Roccat seem kind of unsure how to repel these pushes. I mean, the executions, they've done it on both sides, but I feel like B is definitely the weaker of these sides from Rockat's perspective. Like, they're just being crushed here. They're getting mid-control most rounds as well, Cloud9, and they're making the most of it. Here comes another push onto B side. It looks like it's only going to be Sunny who's here. Actually, they have 2 players there, I believe. No. Just waiting with his pop flash.
But we have the aggression. We have the aggression from Roccat. It's just on the wrong site. I mean, they're getting the info, but now they know, right? By the time they find it out, Yuho pushes out through Squeak. Cloud9 are already pushing onto the B site, so this info does nothing for Roccat, where, you know, they would have time to rotate in and take advantage of it. Cloud9 aren't even giving them the time for that. They're already out onto the B site. They've got the bomb plant, and now in a 4-on-4 retake scenario here for Roccat, it's just not looking healthy enough. It's very cool by Cloud9 because they're just so fast on the execute at this point. Roccat could potentially be feeling good about getting a man in there, being like, yeah, there's nobody on A, this is great, right? But then it's just like, oh, well, you know, they're already on B, so...
And we're seeing some of the Achilles heel as well from Roccat, I think, because in the first 6 rounds where Cloud9 went 6-0 up on their CT side, is Roccat were pushing aggressively and they were just getting battered. They started to pick up rounds when they were camping back, and Cloud9 were aggressing on them and getting picked off from the likes of Van, up on Boost, back in Warehouse, these kind of places. So I feel like maybe just the all-out aggression from the likes of freakazoid is just way too much for Roccat to deal with.
Okay. I think I can read lips. I think Gares said B.
Ooh. Can you read lips? Let's find out. It's still possible. He could go for a delayed B hit, maybe. It looks like it's going to be a set play onto A, though.
Yeah, this is all a fake. This is all a fake. This is just to draw the attention over to the A site, and then Cloud9, you know, they're going to work their way over towards B. See? Because look at that. Nothing. Nothing. Well, okay. That kind of screws everything up. Thank you, Shroud.
Goodness. Shroud with 2 sick entry frags there, just headshots across the board, and well, if they're hoping for that fake onto the B, they simply don't need it anymore with those 2 frags. That's going to put Roccat at a 14-8 deficit unless they go in for this and pull off something miraculous. Instead, they're going to save a massive lead now for Cloud9, and Rockat's woes continue. They've just been outclassed here on Cash. I mean, I'd be very interested to hear what the analysis desk has to say about this Cash performance.
Yeah. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot to be said, though.
It's just kind of like Cloud9 showing up and Roccat don't know how to hang with them.
I think that's it. It's because you're seeing a lot of just individual performance. It's individual aim that's making the difference. You can't afford, at this level, you can't afford to have just one guy doing the killing. Unless that guy's like Shox or something.
Yeah.
You know, but even Shox, you know, we learned at the majors last time around, you know, Shox has that kind of play, but then he doesn't have anybody to back him up. It's a bit similar right now. Sunny, he's playing lights out, but I mean, you can't have a 10 frag difference between the top fragger on the team and the runner-up, right? You really do need, like on Cloud9 right now, where there's like 2 or 3 guys sitting fairly close together. Yeah, it's just not everybody is hitting shots on Roccat. 14, I mean, 25, 14, there's 11 frags between Sunny and the runner-up. That just can't happen.
And even though his team's 6 rounds behind, he's still top fragging.
And now they just lost Sunny as well.
And they've lost the talisman.
That could be what's happening as well. Is then, you know, Sunny feels like he has to take more risks. He has to try and be the one, you know, to just, you know, it's leg day, bros. You know, just like carry everybody on his shoulders. But because he's feeling that additional pressure, Cloud9 are just going to slap him around.
Kind of very reminiscent of Kenny S. You know, back in the day, firing
yeah, but Kenny S was like godlike. There's no comparing Kenny S to anybody at that point. Like, he was unique. Yeah. He was definitely a snowflake.
I mean, like in the respect of maybe too much pressure on his shoulders and not being able to carry like 4 people all the time on his back. But Sunny, the fact that he dies first, I mean, it doesn't really bode too well for Roccat. But they are still in this round, you know, all things considered. Both the players on Cloud9 are very low. An AWP and a Scout on the retake. Not a huge fan of this, but the flashes could still prove to be pretty huge. They both come up the catwalk, and Shroud is there with the AK-47. Has the pixel perfect crosshair placement, and that leaves Stond all by himself. He doesn't fancy this, wants to save the AK, maybe play for the overtime.
Painful that he can't even save an AWP right now for Stonda.
That must be very, very difficult for him to do. You know, knowing that you're going to be 15-8 behind.
Yeah, at this point, you need 7 rounds in a row. And, well, they did it in the first half. So, you know, always possible. Can't count them out just yet, Roccat. But it is definitely a huge advantage now for Cloud9 to just lock this down 2-0. I mean, Dust 2 really was the danger zone. And Cloud9, they managed to dodge that, so it won't be going to Cobblestone. It should be wrapping up here. There's very, very low chance of Roccat being able to fight back in this kind of situation.
And I feel like a lot of the teams, if they're watching this right now, may fancy their chances on Dust 2 against Cloud9. I just wonder if Cloud9 may go for a ban sometime in the future on that map. depending if they're playing against the likes of Mouse Sports, for example, who are pretty solid on that map themselves.
Oh,
Either way,
Jesus, Shroud.
Shroud, though, like, gee, first kill was good. Second one, not quite up there, but it looks like the rest of his team's doing the work. I say that, but there is Sunny again from Highway. Gives his team the player advantage. He's hungry for more. We've already seen him bag himself a couple of 4Ks already, but he gets shut down with authority from Skadoodle's AWP. And that leaves us with xartE and Stond, all that remains for the Finns.
What is Skadoodle Judge Dredd now? I am the law. Hey, that was pretty brutal. I could picture Scott as the judge right there.
I would pay to see that movie.
Oh, dude, that movie is so sick, so underrated.
Yeah,
definitely. Well, nothing. It's not going to happen this time. But the law is here, and the law does not miss. Picks up one. He's going to be playing for the second, and he's going to get it done. Scott, that's the kind of performance we're looking at for Skadoodle. He's going to deliver once again, and that